right now in the 2016 standings, looking to get a repeat invite to the Players' Championship. Just like last year, though, it's going to be down to the wire for him. His opponent, Mark Nestico, Black-Green Aetherworks. This is a deck that Nextridge Nexus came up with. Both he and Brad Carpenter running it. They designed it to win this matchup.
It's a juxtaposition of Red-Green Aetherworks and Black-Green Delirium. We've had it on camera losing to both decks.
Caleb will be the first one with a play. It's a turn to Grim Flayer. We go back over to Mark. So what the difference is here is that instead of playing cards like Cathartic Reunion or Glassblower's Puzzle Knot, you see that Mark is going to play some removal instead. His turn 2 play, Servant of the Conduit. Unlikely to survive here, but it does bring along 2 energy.
The thing about the Servant of the Conduit, the primary role is just making the 2 energy. If it dies, though you want to remove it so that you can connect with your Grim Flayer.
Caleb will cast Murder on it and attack with Grim Flayer. He had both Grasp of Darkness and Murder, decided to make the more mana-efficient play.
Likely that he's lining up multiple 2-mana spells on the following turn. Perhaps has Grapple Grasp.
Looks like a Liliana and a land will be put in the graveyard. He puts an untapped land on top of the deck, so Caleb's next turn play will be a Mind Rack Demon, and he'd really like to hit Delirium off it.
Oh, yeah.
Back over to Mark. He will grasp away the Grim Flayer. None of that here. Play an Evolving Wilds and pass. And 4th land, Caleb will go for the Demon now. Mill himself for 4. Hits Artifact Creature on the first one, so he has Delirium. No damage will be taken here. I don't think I've ever seen a Mind Rack Demon this tournament have a drawback.
No, the Green-Black Delirium deck is very good at hitting Delirium, and Caleb not only hit Delirium, but also a 5th card type to build towards Emrakul.
Yeah, his Artifact Creature, Instant, Land, Planeswalker. So 5 types. Sorcery is usually pretty easy to add too. Mark will go ahead and fetch with Evolving Wilds on end step. About the Black-Green Aetherworks deck, its energy production and its cantripping are a little worse. You see now, he could make a turn 4 Marvel, but unlike Teamer, he's not just going to tap it right away.
He could activate it 1/3 of a time. That's
So
not exactly how
that
the
means you
card
look at the
works.
top 2 cards, right?
Right,
And then you cast one of those for free?
and you cast none of them and get a warning for looking at extra cards.
So instead he'll play Servant of the Conduit, go up to 4 energy. Back over to Caleb's side. Another Grasp of Darkness. Servant is down.
Grasp of Darkness is basically the first card you board out playing against the Aetherworks Marvel version.
Yeah.
When you draw them in game 1, you cast them, but those servants just don't do anything.
Scherer attacks with Demon, plays a tap line and passes. He'll have an Ishkana next turn, but Mark's going to go for Grapple with the Past. Bunch of lands in there. He's going up to 4 energy. He doesn't have the Marvel, and he doesn't have 6 energy yet, so there's a lot that he still needs. He's going to go ahead and he's thinking about taking Aether Hub.
And one of the strengths of this deck is it does just build towards casting its Emrakuls pretty effectively.
Yeah. Sorcery, creature, land, instant. He's got 4 Delirium of his own. He ended up taking back that Servant. It's a creature that's likely to die, but it will get him up to the needed 6 energy. So here is Servant of the Conduit. 6
It also is a mana source for the Emrakul, which he is growing closer to.
Yeah, so if this survives, he's got 4 card types in yard. He has 5 lands and a creature in play. He could have another land that would get him up to 11. I'm not sure he's there just yet. Caleb hits him down to 10, plays an Ishkana with Delirium, so 4 spiders into play.
It's good to go up to 11, though these go up to 13.
Back over to Mark. Turn number 6. He has a 6 mana, or 6 energy. He's close to a lot of things. He needs a Marvel. He'll play Liliana the Last Hope, Shrink Ishkana.
And with
Pass
the way
the turn, no land.
his grapple hit earlier, there's no incentive to really minus. You could make another Servant, but you're facing down large creatures already.
Kalatas, Trader to get, is Caleb's draw. The Liliana could do some work here for Mark. It adds another card type to his graveyard. Caleb will swing everything. Servant to the Conduit. It's going to block a Spider. Grasp of Darkness will go ahead and kill the Ishkana. So 6 damage. Mark goes to 4. Caleb plays another Ishkana. That means that's a dangerous one. On the untap, Caleb can just win with a 7th land or with an attack.
Yep.
Mark, looks like he drew another Emrakul.
And even being able to cast Emrakul, Caleb has too much stuff going on. It would likely not be enough.
Yeah, Mark will scoop up the cards. So game 1 goes to Black-Green Delirium and Caleb Scherer. And, you know, we've seen this. I don't think the Black-Green Aetherworks deck has had much success on camera. Both Tan and Grace and Brad Carpenter losing with it yesterday. Both Carpenter and Mark have good records with it, but I have to wonder, watching that game, I still feel like if you don't win that game, I'm not sure what the Aetherworks deck's doing.
Yeah, you know, game 1, we catch our Delirium opponent with Grasp of Darkness in their deck where they have to hit our Servant of the Conduit, but
And
we see
murder.
these problems where they draw their Emrakuls. They're very bad at casting them at the clip that you actually need to compete with the Delirium deck. They can get there, but they don't have much in the way of filtering the draws. You know, once they draw the Emrakul, it's just kind of in their hand. Whereas the green-red deck can cast Cathartic Reunion to kind of get out of that.
It's like, look, Caleb's draw was a turn 7 win on the play. And the only interaction Caleb had was a murder and a grasp. And if that's what my opponent's presenting as a combo deck, I want to be able to beat that.
Yes.
You know, a good combo deck should be able to win by that turn if that's all they have, that your opponent's doing. It's a tough draw then for Mark. We're going to go to the sideboard here, starting with Mark Nestico. 3 Tireless Tracker, 3 Transgress the Mind, 2 Flaying Tendrils, 2 Natural State, a Pick the Brain, a To the Slaughter, a Lost Legacy, a World Breaker, and a Kalatas, Trader of Get.
So we've seen them transition towards Tireless Tracker to try to play a little bit more of a clean game of Magic. I like that. Keep up on cards with those. Transgress the Mind to break their hand open. You know, you don't want to get Emrakul yourself. That's quite good. Pick the Brain for the same reason. You can bring in Lost Legacy to deal with either their Emrakuls or possibly deal with their Ishkanas even. Those can apply a lot of pressure. I like all these cards a good amount in this matchup. Let me go over to Caleb's side. 2 Transgress the Mind, 2 Essence Extraction, 2 Natural State, 2 Pick the Brain, a Kalitas, an Ob Nixilis Reignited, a Nissa Vital Force, Emrakul the Promise End, Tireless Tracker, Flaying Tendrils, Ruinous Path. So Caleb's discard spells are even more powerful than Mark's if he's able to get under Aetherworks Marvel. Those are really powerful. He wants to set up Delirium quickly and try to pick the brain, either Aetherworks Marvel or Emrakul, and that's going to be a big part of his strategy here.
Yeah, he's actually got a lot of game against these smaller decks. Essence Extraction, that's the Black Lightning Helix, if you will. 3 damage. Can't go upstairs, but I'm assuming he's respecting the Vehicles deck quite a bit if he's playing something like that.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that in the sideboards, and you know, Vehicles is the 3rd biggest deck after the Blue-White Flash and the Green-Black, and this card's reasonable against Blue-White Flash as well. It kills the Spell Queller and what have you.
So for number 6 in the 2016 Player of the Year race, Caleb Scherer is looking for a repeat trip to the Players' Championship. We'll tell you a little bit about him. Last season, it looked like he was going to be the first player on points that last year that would not make the Players' Championship, but then he took it into his own hands. The 28-year-old from St. Louis, Missouri, won the Season 4 Invitational. You see, it's been a bit of an up-and-down year for him. He's played all the events in the year. He has 2 Open Top 8s lifetime and 2 Invitational Top 8s. And so Caleb's the player. He shows up for the big tournaments, and that's really where you've seen a lot of his success. Graduate student in mathematics, and known as a Storm player in Legacy.
Storm player. Storm is one of those decks where even if you are very entrenched in Magic, you can feel like Storm players are speaking a different language than you are.
So with that win, Caleb, of course, chose a Storm counter. 3 Invitational winners winning with their token art. The most recent one, which you can still get, is the Liam Lonergan Elf Warrior token. That's still being shipped, but this is about your last chance to get it for Opens and Classics. Will be this weekend, 2 weeks in Atlanta. If you want to get one, you're going to have to show up in Atlanta or put an order on StarCityGames.com of at least $5.
Got myself another Liam token this weekend. Picked up some things for my cube.
Mark Nestico taking a mulligan here with the Black-Green Aetherworks deck. So Mark Nestico, one of our writers over on StarCityGames.com. You know, I have to admit, I love the stuff he writes. If you haven't seen it, he'll tell you why he hates whatever it is that you like. Now, the 30-year-old from Estero, Florida, a proud dad of 3 cats, a rabid Pittsburgh sports fan, particularly the Penguins. All right, I am now a big fan there. Some hockey representing there. Excellent. And a huge pro wrestling fan, writes about and even has a podcast about it.
I'm more about pro wrestling than I am about hockey.
What? Are you even from Minnesota?
I can convince people that I'm not. I mean, I own it. I let people know that I am from Minnesota, the great state of Minnesota, but it's important to be able to blend in wherever you are.
I don't. It just happens when you're from the south part of the state. You don't have a good appreciation of hockey.
I'm a little east of the Twin Cities as well.
Yeah. Gotta be up, once you get up toward the Bemidji area, that's when it starts being like basically that's where the real hockey's being played.
That's where the real Minnesotans live.
That's where the Canadian Minnesotans live.
I don't know if I would have made it to 16 living in Bemidji. I would have got snowed in and starved to death.
Well, yeah, that's part of loving hockey. All right, turn 1, Attune with the Aether from Mark Nestico. Gonna find a forest. Now, he did mulligan to 5 here, but at least this time he's setting up energy, and if he can get to 4 mana with 6 energy, none of these mulligans matter.
Yep. Now, the deck is not as good at card selection as the red and or blue variants, but if you just have it, you have it.
Turn 1, tap land for Caleb. Mark does have the energy set up. Turn 2, he will play. He does have a Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot in hand, but he's gonna, and he'll lead on it, go up to 5 energy. He has a Transgress as well. This actually is shaping up very well for Mark. Back to Scherer.
And for Caleb, what he really wants to be able to do is set up Delirium and get a pick the brain off here before Mark's able to go off.
He does have a Transgress. See if he's going to make a different play. If he can try to set up that Delirium, he'll Transgress the Mind. I mean, when someone's on a mull to 5, that's pretty excellent. And he hits the Aetherbrick Marvel in Mark's hand.
And now Mark's playing off the top.
All right. His hand was Land Transgress.
So he needs to find Land and Marvel.
So he'll Transgress the Mind back on Caleb. You see Mind Rack Demon, Liliana, and then a bunch of things he can't take. But we'll go over what those are in just a sec.
I like it when a player distributes cards you can take, cards you can't take, and the other player is just like, just put them down so I can pick them up.
Vessel, Grapple, Traverse, and Land 3. So pretty customizable setup here for Caleb. He can have just about any card he wants.
Yeah. Mark's hand is cold to both this giant demon punching him in the face and Liliana building up to an ultimate.
We're playing combo. If you're telling me that these cards that cost 3 or 4 mana that takes 6 turns to win the game, like, I can't be worried about those. Right? That's like saying my combo deck's scared of Luxodon Smiter. It's like, if I can't race that, then I don't deserve to be a combo deck.
Mark, Brad, and Tannen on camera have not made very convincing arguments to play their deck.
Look, I love a good combo deck, and I love like Aetherworks Marvel.
I
don't know why we're playing all these kill spells. And
do you love a medium combo deck?
If it's impossible to stop, then sure. The combo decks where it's like, something like Valakut. It's not fast, but boy, is it hard to interact with.
What if your opponent casts Transgress the Mind on turn 2 and you no longer have the ability to win the game?
No, I'm less into this.
Oh.
No. Mark draws Pick the Brain. All right. Caleb on that last turn then just played a Vessel. Pick the Brain. We see Liliana, Grapple, Traverse, and Murder. Liliana's gone. So between the Transgress and the Pick the Brain, Mark actually has taken all of Caleb's pressure, but he'll just reload. Here's a Vessel.
Black-Green Delirium is a deck that really wants to make a lot of land drops. It seemed likely that that's what that Vessel was going to go for. I'm kind of curious as to why Caleb just didn't cast the Liliana and start building towards that ultimate on the 3rd turn.
Well, Caleb actually does not hit Delirium. He only has Sorcery, Enchantment, Land.
Oh, figured it out. Forest. All right, there we go.
That makes more sense. Yeah, those Mind Rack Demon and Liliana both would have given Caleb Delirium, but Transgress and Pick the Brain both exile. So Grapple with the Past from Caleb. Still trying to get toward Delirium, and he'll get it this time. Finds a Grim Flayer. Looks like he's going to take that.
Yep. Probably would have went for Demon if it weren't exiled.
He does have the land, but it's a tap land. It's a Hissing Quagmire, so it's a turn off of Grimflayer. He can, however, traverse the Open Vault. Now he has Delirium. So Caleb's putting together a clock, but he's really now at the mercy of the top of Mark's deck. If Mark draws an Aetherworks Marvel, it's going to be great.
Well, Mark needs to find the Aetherworks Marvel and hit on his first spin. This Puzzle Knot gets him to 8 energy. If he sacrifices it with the Marvel in play, 9, but still just 1 activation without some more help.
Caleb traverses for Ishkana, so he has some threats set up on his next turns. Ishkana and Grimflayer both were found. But Mark's at a 23. Draws a card, just says go. No Marvel just yet. Caleb's going to go to work. Here's Grimflayer. Here is a Hissing Quagmire, another tap land. He'll say go. Mark sacrifices the Puzzle Knot, now up to 8 energy, 26 life. So the Marvel is ready to go. Now all he has to do is draw it.
Caleb has a copy of Murder in his hand. A little suspicious of this card being in the deck post sideboard. You can't murder an Emrakul, protection from instance. You can murder the large spider on Ishkana, which is not nothing.
Sometimes, and Mark, I think he might be hedging against Tireless Tracker if Mark were to bring it in. And Mark does have 3 in his sideboard.
Sure, that's fair.
Grimflayer connects. Caleb puts a card on top of his deck. Looks like it was Nissa Vital Force that he's going to draw next turn. That's a real good clock with this Ishkana. A draw for Mark. We'll see what he's got. He went to 22 on that hit. The hit, he's going to take a lot of damage next turn, especially with that Nissa. Plays out his hand. It's a Vessel of Nascency and a land. He'll say go.
If he's able to find Marvel, he'd be a land shy of casting it, so you don't want to proactively crack the Vessel.
But how much damage is he taking? And it looks like it's going to be a lot. Nissa Vital Force not messing around. So here is the 5-mana Planeswalker. It's going to go ahead and animate a land. So we have the Forest attacking. 5 damage off the Forest, 4 more off the Grimflayer, 6 more off the Ishkana. This is a swing for 15. Mark will go to 7.
It won't be too difficult for Caleb to get those last points in.
Yeah, top of the deck, nice to Caleb as well. He's got an Emrakul possibility, and he may even be able to cast Emrakul. Yeah, he's putting that on top. All right, here's Mark's plan. Gonna spin it a bit. Here's Vessel of Nascency. Can he find an Aetherworks Marvel? I think that's all he's drawing to. If he finds Emrakul, he can't cast that either.
Can he find the Marvel, and will the Marvel matter?
1, 2, 3. Last one, Tireless Tracker. That is not Marvel, so he's got to count. Can he cast Emrakul? No.
Well, Tracker's not doing anything. You can take it, sure. It won't win the game.
He'll take Emrakul. I actually don't know if I like taking Emrakul here. It means if Caleb casts Pick the Brain, I could lose all my Emrakuls.
He's so dead on board.
Yeah, okay. Just extends the hand. And so game 2-0 goes to Caleb Scherer. Black-green Delirium. He improves to 10-3 and stays in the hunt for top 8.
Yep, Black-green Delirium, and very powerful deck, and I don't think that the Aetherworks build is how you break through this 2-deck metagame. I like the idea